And we are continuing our GenCon coverage, the 50-year anniversary this year. I'm here at Shaft Studio with Steven, who's the creator artist as well of the game Fables, and he's going to give us a quick overview. Take it away, Steven.
Sure. So the object of the game in Fables End is you're trying to get 20 points worth of skulls into your opponent's losses. This is kind of like damage in Magic or in other card games. And there are three ways that you can do that. You can attack someone's archive and set fires there. When an archive or when a manuscript gets 5, it goes into your losses.
So as soon as it reaches 5,
yep,
one of the manuscript goes into the...
Exactly, and the fires will stay over turns.
Right, and now all the manuscripts are worth 4, I see?
They're all worth 4, yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. So it's a fixed number that you can always work with. The other way to get skulls in is to challenge another unit that's on the front line, and those two units will battle. The winner goes to the losses. You can also break through. This is your phalanx, this is your resource system. This is how you play cards in Fables End. And you can break through your opponent's phalanx as long as your unit's rank is equal to or less than their open ranks.
Right.
Okay?
Equal to or less then, right?
Yes. So that's got 2, you've got 1, 2. So now I can break through into this person's hand, and I choose a card. And then if it's a unit, they battle. Higher number wins,
right.
Power right there, 2,000 to 1,000. That would die. Now, if it were a shield that I pulled, let's say I broke through,
right,
and I chose this card and it was a shield, that card would go into the losses, and that card's worth 3 skulls.
Wow, so that's an auto win, and it's just lots of points right there.
Exactly. So it's, and you don't know what you're going to get, because you might hit the big fatty at some point.
Right.
Here. And then
he loses.
And then this card loses. So it's a little bit of risk reward. You got to assess the battlefield. You have to be able to read your opponent and know what's in their hand, what you think they're going to play, how they play.
Right.
You know,
okay.
There's a bit of bluffing involved.
Now you were mentioning before some of these, the Unburial. I noticed the game has. Was it the Unburial right here? This right here.
The symbol right
that
here.
Looks really interesting.
Yeah. So when units are in your losses like this, at the end of your turn, you get to go through a recovery step. And what that means is, let's say I have 4 fires on my manuscript, I get to remove 1. If my manuscript were open, I could close it. I would draw a card, and then I would bury, turn face down like that, any unit in my losses.
Right. So it removes it. It makes it from a 2 to a 1.
Right. Exactly.
So it's technically you've taken less damage.
Exactly. Now, on later turns, what you can do is, some units have an unburial symbol, and what that means is, as an action, you can unbury that unit that's buried, and then it will give you this bonus.
Right.
Now, if I had 4 of these cards that were buried in here, like this, I could 1, 2, 3, 4, and activate that 4 times in a row.
Right. So she would get 12,000 extra.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've just increased.
But if I had big units, then I would go from having 4 skulls to having 7, 8, 10.
And the end game trigger is at 20.
20, right, exactly. And the player with the lowest skulls is the winner.
Now, Steven here is giving us review copies of the game. We will be showing it to you. However, we want to talk a little bit more about his Kickstarter coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. The Kickstarter, it doesn't have a date yet, but we're working on it. And basically, the idea is each one of these volumes that I want to release has 2 kingdoms. It's like 2 factions. The next volume for Kickstarter will have 2 new factions. And all the factions are based on specific storybooks or fairy tales. The Wolf Kingdom has a Hansel, Gretel, and Red Riding Hood theme.
The Crimson Adventure.
Mm-hmm. The Scorpion Kingdom has an Arabian Nights flair, so you'll see a lot of, like the genie, have a card that's obviously very influenced by Aladdin, right?
Jafar.
Exactly. Now they're not, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to say it's Jafar or Aladdin.
No, of course not. We get it.
But you guys get it.
Yes,
you get
it. That's awesome.
And so this next kingdom will have the next 2 kingdoms in Volume 2 will be the Kraken and the Raven, And the Kraken will be
pirate
like
theme,
sailors, sea monsters. I'm looking for like Moby Dick, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, that sort of thing. The Raven will be Gothic horror, so.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Like
Dracula,
Grimm's. Yeah.
That sort of thing. And I'm really excited about both these two. These two kingdoms are going to be super cool.
That's fantastic. Now we want to mention also that this game is not just a 2-player game. It could be multiplayer as well.
Exactly. Right? Yes. And it scales nicely to multiplayer because it's not elimination. It's the game ends when one player gets 20, not you die when you get 20 and you're out of the game and it's elimination. So everyone's in until the very end.
Right. They want to keep that person alive so they can better position themselves.
Exactly. Right.
Well, awesome. We'll be doing a review of Fables End real soon, and check out their Kickstarter for their second volume coming out soon. Subscribe now to our channel to stay in the loop. If you like our work, help us continue by sharing the channel to your gaming group. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.